In this video, we'll create a little program that demonstrates the order of operations and math expressions. All right, it's a real simple video. What we're going to do is we're going to take the number of hours, minutes, and seconds and calculate the total number of seconds. So it's not that difficult to do. Follow along in Eclipse. If I get going too fast, you can always pause my video or replay it and see if your program can work out exactly the same as mine. All right, so here I am in Eclipse in my Unit 1, and you can see I've accumulated quite a few packages. Each package is a different program. So I'm going to create another package by clicking on the source, going up here to my new button, and create a new package. I'm going to call this total seconds. All right, so that's my intent, is to make this the total number of seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a class in here, and I'll call it total seconds. But notice how I've capitalized the letter T and the letter S using that camel case. All right, and then at the very top of my program, remember we always want to put our name as a comment, so we'll put our name. We'll put the date. Today is still summertime, August 18th. We'll be starting school soon. You'll be watching these after school starts. And this is going to demonstrate order of operations. Okay. All right, so there's my little program, and I'll add my main method. So remember, public static void main string args. And then we're going to use the syntax formatting where we put the curly braces underneath. All right, now here's where I like to put in my comments. So I always declare and initialize my variables. I'm going to calculate total seconds. And then I'm going to display results. So I don't have much to the program. It's actually a pretty simple little short variable. So I'm going to need to know the number of hours, the number of minutes, the number of seconds, all right, and then the total. So I'm going to start out here, and I'm going to make these all ints. I want whole numbers to work with. So I have an int, and I'm going to put hours equals, and let's say 5 hours. And I'll have an int for minutes, and I'll put 23 minutes, and we'll have an int for seconds, and I will make this 49. Okay, so 5 hours, 23 minutes, and 49 seconds. All right, and I need to find out what is the total. Now notice I haven't calculated the total yet. I will do that in just a second where it says calculate total seconds, but I'm going to declare it. All right, now before I go to display the total, I have to actually find that calculation. And so here's where I'll put the calculation. I'll say total equals, all right, and so I just have to take each of my variables and multiply it by the number of seconds in one of the unit. So if I have the 5 hours, I'll take the hours times, and there are 3,600 seconds in an hour. All right, in other words, 60 times 60. All right, that's where I get that number. I have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. Okay, and then I'll add that to the number of minutes times, and there are 60 seconds in a minute, and then I will put in finally the seconds. So there's my equation, and you can see I've mixed multiplication and addition, and using the order of operations, it's going to perform the multiplication first and then go back and do the addition. Now I could make it even clearer simply by putting parentheses around what I want. Now this doesn't change anything, but it just makes it easier to read because people recognize groupings with parentheses. And now that equation is much clearer, that it's going to do the multiplication, it's going to do the multiplication, then it's going to go back. So I just wrote it in a different way, but it's just easier to see. And the better you can make your program a readable code, less likely you'll get confused and the less likely you'll make a mistake, or later on you'll be able to come back. So highly recommend you make the code as readable as possible. Not necessarily for me, for you, all right, because you're the one that's going to have to fix the errors. And finally, then I'm going to put my system.out.println, and I will just say my string literal here, all right, total seconds equals, all right, and then I'll use my concatenation, not addition. This is concatenation, and I'm going to put in total. Okay, so there's my real simple little program that demonstrates order of operations. Of course, you learned this in grade school math, all right, so it's nothing new. It's just how the computer does it. All right, and I'm going to go ahead now and save my program, and I'm going to run my program. And down at the bottom, you can see I have 19,429 seconds, all right, in 5 hours, 23 minutes, and 49 seconds.